Next, we will look into the walls option bar. In conjunction with using the drawing panel here, we must also make changes in the options bar. When we're drawing a wall, we want to constrain it to certain levels. As we're currently drawing on level 0, our base constraint for our wall will be level 0. We must then specify which level the wall is going to be constrained to. So at the moment, we only have level 0 as our base constraint, and level 1 is our next level up. So to get a good view of what I'm about to do, I'm going to open up an elevation view. In the project browser, we have our elevations heading. If we click on the expansion button there, we have our east elevation. So if we double click on that, that opens up our east elevation. Here we have our level 0, which we see in our floor plans, and our level 1, again, it's in our floor plans in the project browser. So if we go back to our level 0, I would like to have both of those views open at the same time. So in order to do that, I'm going to type in WT, which stands for window tile. And by doing that, it's going to open up both views on the screen. So type in WT. Here on the left-hand side, we have our floor plan level 0. And on the right-hand side, we have our east elevation. So making sure that our level 0 is active by simply clicking on the tile. We'll now go back to the wall tool. I'm going to be using my draw by line from the draw panel. And now getting on to the options bar. So the first option here, it says height. It may say depth on yours, but if I hit the drop down arrow, we can go between the two. So whether we draw by height or by depth simply means that as we're drawing currently on level 0, so there's our level 0, if I have height selected, my base level will be constrained to level 0. So my wall will go above level 0 and connect to level 1. If I change over to depth, my wall will be constrained at level 0 and go below my level 0. So that's the difference between the height and the depth. Next, once we've specified that, we're going to use height. We'll then select the next option, which is where we want to constrain it to. So we're currently on level 0. So our next level is level 1. So if we constrain it to level 1 and draw our wall, there you'll see on the right-hand side in our east elevation, our wall's base constraint is level 0 and its top constraint is level 1. When we constrain this wall, if I go to my east elevation and select my level, and if I change the level, the wall, because it's been constrained to that level, it will move with the level. If I select unconnected, I'm then able to specify a height. So if I give this a height of 4,000, draw my wall, you'll notice then on the east elevation that there's my wall, base constraint level 0, unconnected with a height of 4,000. So if I change my first floor level, because the wall is not constrained to that level, the height doesn't change. So now we just want to have our level 0 open. So if we double tap on the top of the window tile, it'll bring us back into our level 0. For the next option, which is the location line, I'm going to change my detail level to medium. So come down here to the view controls and select medium. So our next option is the location line. If we hit the drop down arrow, you can see we have 6 different options. With the first, which is the wall center line, I'm going to zoom in using my scroll wheel. When I click to start and move my cursor in the direction I want to draw my wall, you'll notice in the center there's a dashed light blue line. That is my location line. And as it's set to wall center line, you'll notice it's the center point of that wall. It's also represented by the blue grips either side. So if I change it to finish face exterior, when I draw my wall, the dashed blue line is on the outer face of my wall, again represented by the blue grips either side. As well, we have finish face interior. So there's our dashed blue line on the inner face, so it's running along the plasterboard of the wall. Again, blue grips either side. The other options which we have are core centerline, core face exterior, and core face interior. What they're referring to as the core is when we create a wall, we must specify what the core of that wall is. The core is generally the structural part of your component. So the blockwork here would be the core of our wall. To show you how that's represented, I'm going to select it. I'm going to go to Edit Type and edit the structure and show a preview. Don't worry about what I've just done. We will go into a lot more detail about this in a later video. But for now, I'm just going to show you this as a small preview so you have a better understanding about what a core boundary is. So here is a section view of the wall which has been created. There's our brickwork, which is represented here. Next is the insulation. There's our concrete block and our plasterboard finish. And you'll notice on the either side of our concrete block, we have our core boundaries. So this here is our exterior core boundary, this blue line here. And here's our internal core boundary, which is this blue line here. So the purpose of creating the core boundaries, which is when we have two intersecting walls, you notice that the blockwork joins together, ignoring the brickwork. So the blockwork will cut right through the brick as well as the insulation. So all components have been created in this manner. So when we go to draw a wall and we change our location line to the core center line, when I place my wall, you'll notice that the dashed blue line is in the center point of that blockwork. So it's in between those two core points. And we have core face exterior. Again, when I draw the wall, you notice my location line is on the external face of the blockwork. And we have the internal face of the blockwork. Our next option is chain. When we draw by line, having the chain feature turned on, when we click our start point and then our finish point, will automatically start a new line segment. So this is known as a chain. If I turn chain off, when I draw a line segment, that is a singular line segment and it will not continue as a chain. Next option is the offset. I'm going to change my location line to finish face interior. So when I draw my wall, that dashed blue line is on the face of the plasterboard. When I attach an offset, so I'll change my offset to 1000. Then when I draw my wall, you'll notice that there's my dashed blue line, which will be on the face of the plasterboard. And my wall is now offset up by 1000. If the wall is in the incorrect location and you want it to flip it to the other side of the location line, press the space bar to flip the wall to the other side of the location line. Next is the radius. So when it's turned on, we have a radius specified. When we draw two intersecting walls, it will generate a radius between those two intersecting walls. And lastly is join status. So when we draw two intersecting walls, they'll automatically join and the core boundaries will meet. If we have join status on disallow, when we do the same, the walls do not join, so the core boundaries do not meet. If you wanted the walls to join, simply select the wall and you'll notice this symbol here. That symbol is your join symbol. So once you click on that, the walls will then join together. Now we're going to look over the properties of a wall. So we'll select our wall tool and we can look here in the properties section. The first thing we see is the type selector. So if we hit the arrow, this is where we'll select the type of wall which we want to draw. So there's lots of different variations in here that are provided to us by Autodesk. You will be creating your own wall types in the future, but as a good basis and a good start point, it's great to get to know the wall types provided by Autodesk. So if we select the wall exterior, 102 brick, 50 air cavity, 45 insulation, 100 block, and 12 plasterboard. And we can draw a wall. With Revit, once you've drawn the wall, we can always go back and revise it and change the type that we've drawn. So if we simply select it again, hit the type selector, and we can change the type. So at any point throughout our modeling process, we can change the wall type. Once we have the wall selected, the properties palette will then take on the properties of that wall. So the first heading is the constraints. Our first one is the location line. So it's currently set to finish face interior. So now we have a better understanding of what they are. So we're able to change that now if needs be. We then have our base constraint, which is set to level 0. So again, if I open up our east elevation, you'll see our base constraint level 0. It's on level 0. The next option is base offset is set to 0, so it's sitting on level 0. We can add in an offset, so if I add in 200, you'll see that our wall has offset up level 0 by 200. Bring that back to 0. When we make a change in the properties palette, the effects will not take place until we either press apply or move the cursor into the drawing. The reason is we can make multiple changes in the properties palette before everything takes effect. It's just a quicker way of doing things, because if we were to do multiple things and the model was updating each time, it would delay the process. So next is the top constraint, which is currently set to unconnected. Here we can select it and revert it back to level 1. Again, moving my cursor into the model, you'll see the wall will now be constrained to level 1. Again, we have an offset, so I can add in an offset of 200. Now offset above 200. If I add in a negative figure, it will go below the line. Next is the dimensions heading. So it will give us a length figure as well as the area and volume of that wall. So now we're going to look at some different types of modification tools. There's two ways that we can access this. We can either go straight to the modified tab at the top, and in here we have our modification panel. Or when we have placed an element into the drawing, when we select it, the modified tab automatically appears. So the first tool we're going to look at is the Align tool. What I'm going to do is just quickly place a component back in the Architecture tab. Stick with the first one that appears here, which is the Furniture Desk. Just place it into the drawing. I'm then going to place another component just above it. And I'm just scrolling in with the mouse wheel to zoom in. Now that we have two components placed, I'm simply going to use the Align tool to align the top table to the position of the bottom table. So I'll select the top table, and you'll notice that the Modify Contextual tab will appear. And then here's that Modify panel. First tool is the Align tool. So I'll select my Align tool, select my point of reference, and then select the line I want to align it to. And double escape to finish. Okay, so next I'm going to go over the offset tool. For this, I'm going to place a wall, like so. And to access the offset tool, again, I can either select my wall or go to the Modify tab. Quickest way, again, is to simply select the wall, Modify panel will appear, and here's my offset tool. So when I select the tool, in my options bar here is where I'll specify the distance. It's currently set to 1000, so I'll leave it at that. When I condense the wall, you'll see I get the temporary line to the right. If I move my cursor to the left-hand side of the wall, you'll see it will get my temporary line to the left. That's just showing you a preview where the wall will be offset to. So if I click on the right-hand side of the wall, I'll offset my wall by 1000 across. So now I'm going to delete those additional walls. And next I'm going to use the mirroring tool. So we have two different mirroring tools. The first is Mirror by Pick Axis. What that does is we will select our component and we'll pick an axis for it to mirror across to. So we'll select our disk, select our Mirroring by Pick Axis tool, select the wall, and you'll see that there's a dashed blue line. That's running it right down the wall center line. If I select it, my desk will mirror across the axis. For the second mirroring tool, to mirror by Draw Axis, if I select my component, select Mirror Draw Axis, instead of now picking the axis, I have to draw my axis of reflection. So that's just by clicking once to start, and there you'll see I got my dashed blue line. So I can either draw straight down at 90 degrees, or I can draw at an angle, like increase that up to say 45-degree angle. You see my desk has now been offset across that axis of reflection by 45 degrees.